Michonne is definitely a woman who has crafted herself in accordance with the realm that she's in. I often would look at her as almost a woman of war, someone who has figured out how to be her own army, really, to deal with the hostilities that this world has begun to sprout. And she's definitely a woman on more of a, with quite a fighter's edge to her. But she actually also has a massive heart, and that sort of started to come out in more recent episodes. But she had a lot of trauma she went through, which caused her to really shut down emotionally for a while, and definitely be a very tough lady to get to know. But as she's progressed with this group of survivors that Rick Grimes has been the leader of, she's begun to open up her heart, and we realize there's actually a real big heart in there. We've been learning about Michonne bit by bit, and I think that that's been actually really great, because it's felt authentic to how you really do learn about people. You don't just get everyone's whole story in the first meeting, and especially someone who's in such a hostile environment, who's been dealing with serious losses and trauma, and many people around her as well as herself have PTSD, and if they all carry wounds, and they all respond to their wounds specifically. And the way Michonne responded was she became very agile and able in this realm, and really decided to cut people off. But slowly she's been letting them back in. I feel like we were crafting her as we were going along to some extent, and I feel that Michonne was definitely a character that we were, we knew that she was going to be someone who was stoic and hard to get to know and didn't use words much. She rather would just get things done. And I feel like Michonne definitely felt like too much communication would make her vulnerable, and she didn't like being vulnerable. She wanted to be in control at all times, and so talking too much was just not going to work for her. And so she didn't employ that. And it was an interesting thing to realize as I was learning her and crafting her and reading her on the page, that okay, this is a chick who does a lot of stuff, but she doesn't say a lot of stuff. And that's different from me, because I say a lot of things. I'm a talker. So I remember one episode 6 of last year, when she has left Woodbury and she ends up at the prison, and she's been shot in the leg, and she goes, at the end of the episode, she's at the prison, and I just remember her looking at that script, and it's like all her, almost the whole episode, but she never speaks, but she's doing things the whole time, and you're watching her journey to get to this prison the whole time, but she never says a word. And you just see her at the end of it, after all this stuff you've seen her go through, and taking out Merle and his men, get to that gate with that basket of formula, and in that formula you see she cares about the idea that there's a baby in there that needs food, and she's going to bring all this food to them, carrying it with a wound in her leg, because she just knows that's the right thing to do. She has that heart. So her heart was always there, but it was sometimes it was obscured, but it was there.
El lunes a las 10.
Well, you have to really nurture, in order to play the character, as you were mentioning, through, like she had to live through her eyes so much, was because, yeah, she didn't have many lines, but the result of how to get that to happen, for me, I think, was really just really understanding her inner life. You have to be thinking her thoughts. You have to be seeing the world through her experiences. You have to be bracing her wounds. And once those things are alive inside, the way, I personally wasn't thinking about the fact that her eyes were doing what they were doing, but I allowed her to live inside of me in terms of her way of seeing the world, but also all of her experiences and the way she chooses to respond to the world. So I had to actually allow that to be her, because that's all she had to give right at that point, because she wasn't a talker. So it was all about how would she live in this situation, how would she take it in, and how would she respond to what's happening around her. And a lot of it was she didn't want, the reason why she doesn't talk is because she didn't want to be known, but sometimes her eyes would give it away, because you can't lie through your eyes. I love working with the scriptwriters and with Robert. I do tend to chat a lot with them. I love writers. I think writers are, of course, the source of so much, because you're able to really get to the core of what the story is trying to do. So I love to chat with writers and to really understand what is at the core of what we're doing and what you've put on the page, so I can make sure I embody it, that I make sure I'm fitting into the puzzle just right, you know. So I do tend to have a lot of chats with the writers and get a deeper understanding of what they're up to and where the character is going and where she's coming from, and share with them. Of course, I have many of my own thoughts always. I'm a very talkative girl, so they definitely get what I'm thinking as well. And so I love the exchange that I have with the writers, with Mr. Gimble and his team, because it enriches what I'm able to do, really. It deepens my understanding, and it gives me a clearer understanding of where she's going and what she's up to. Absolutely. The Walking Dead's like nothing that we've ever seen, you know, and I think that's what makes The Walking Dead so special to be a part of, is that it's just, you've never seen anything like this show. And I think it's a really exciting time for TV, because that's happening a lot, where it's like, this is new, I've never seen this before. Yes, it was definitely an amazing thing to become a part of, a very unique setup, and it's wonderful. You're on set with a bunch of zombies, and you know, you're in the middle of the outdoors. I kind of love working in the outdoors, even though it is you know, some severe heat, and it is a lot of bugs and ticks that come and join us. But I kind of love that we shoot outside in the summer. I think that that's really a kind of a great thing. It allows me to definitely spend a lot of time enjoying the outdoors, and it allows me to, you know, it's just a freedom that I think that's created by constantly being connected. The nature of Georgia is a part of the show, and I think that that's really special. Very rarely is it a studio, actually. Very rarely. Generally, we do shoot the show outside, and you know, in very real setups. Even the prison was built into a prison, so it really was a building that was specifically built and designed. And as you see it, it's actually a true design built from scratch. So it is a very real feeling setup to be a part of. The production values of the series are astounding. I'm amazed at the work that these people do. They are all amazing. The editors, of course, the director of photography is amazing, Michael Strategimus, and his whole team. They're just an amazing group of people, and and of course the props master, he's amazing, the sort of things he's come up with, and you know, he co-designed that sword I use, you know, I mean, so there's just an amazing crew of people, all the producers who are on set as well. Costuming, oh my gosh, like the way Yulin Womble, she dresses me, she dresses a whole cast, and she dresses every guest cast, and she dresses all those zombies. And you know, it's no small task what she does, and how they have to make sure the zombies have a certain aesthetic but have a very real look to them. She has a few small videos about it, and it's an amazing thing that she does every week, as well as, of course, the makeup people, hair. I mean, it's an amazing group of people to work with, and they're all excellent experts at what they do, and that really is an exciting thing to become a part of.